guys, it's Taylor and welcome to Coffee and Bible Time. Today I'm going to be talking about a study Bible, so I hope you guys find this video useful and let's get started. This is the David Jeremiah Study Bible. It is New International Version, and let me just give you a little background. Dr. David Jeremiah is an evangelical preacher. He has his own TV show and he has his own radio. He has loads of books that you can look through if you're struggling with faith or if you really want to get in depth. So just a disclaimer, I have not read through this whole Bible yet, so I don't exactly know all that's in store, but I have had this Bible for a little less than a year now, and what I've discovered about it is really great, and I really want to share this with you guys. So there are three main things that I look for if I am in search of help that Dr. David Jeremiah puts in here as a reference for the reader. The first thing that he puts in here are called Essentials of the Christian Faith. These are full-page summaries which helps the reader to understand a topic that you're reading in certain verses. So for instance, in Romans, he has an essential of the faith called The Fate of Those Who Never Hear. And this is something that a lot of people have questions about, like, well, what if somebody hasn't heard the gospel? Where will they go? It's not fair if they go to hell if they've never heard. And that's exactly why he puts these things in here. The second thing that I look for that he puts in here for references are called tough questions. Something comes to mind and they're like, I don't exactly understand what this means. And they wouldn't know where to go otherwise if the tough questions passage wasn't there. For instance, a tough question that I had that I didn't know was, what does justification and sanctification mean? That was the first I had ever heard of it when I was reading Romans, and I did not know what to do or where to go to understand that. So the tough questions was there for me, and I read it, and the definitions were there of justification and sanctification along with examples and what God says about that in order to apply it to your life. And the third thing that I look for are study notes. This is typically on every page of the Bible so that you can hear the perspective from a preacher on what they have to say about it. So you can use study notes for literally anything. You can use them for cross-references. Personally, I find that to be really cool because it kind of helps me see how the Bible ties together as a whole. And then another thing that I look at the study notes for is if I'm just needing help. Like personally, when I'm reading the Bible, I struggle a lot trying to understand what some verses mean, and I want to be able to read it and interpret it for the way God has meant it to be interpreted and not something else. So for instance, I was just reading this morning Titus, and Titus 2:5 says, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home. Now this verse is actually talking about women and what God wants for women. So immediately when I read to be busy at home, I was bitter and I was resentful towards God. I was interpreting it wrong because I thought that that was God saying that that's all that woman is good for. Now obviously that's kind of a crazy, irrational thought, but I went down to the study notes for reassurance, and sure enough, Dr. David Jeremiah helped me put things back in perspective, and he said, the references here to marriage, family, and homemaking are not strict prohibitions against women working outside the home. Rather, they're reminders that during child-rearing years especially, it is paramount for a woman to manage her household and tend her family life. So that study note actually really helped me put things back in perspective and kind of helped me get back on track to the reading. A lot of times before, when I didn't have this Bible, I read something, not understand it, kind of doze off and like la la land, and then close my Bible and walk away because it's like, well, it's too hard, I don't understand, I'm gonna go. This helps you stay on track. You know, you're on a straight path to understanding. Getting a Bible that you can understand and that you want to read is so important to your walk in your faith. If you guys want to see another video, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, any questions, and come back for another one of our videos. Thank you so much. Bye.